Now at 10 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, the suspected shooter's father helps police make an arrest, the confession that ended a massive manhunt.
A fight over protecting children from THC products splits Texas leaders.
Plus, a violent crime at a Dallas motel shocks residents, leaving one person dead, another behind bars.
Well, temperatures were a bit warm today, and we are getting that southeasterly breeze back, but the shower activity stayed a little bit farther down south. But are we going to see any more shower activity in South Texas? I'll be talking about that coming up in full weather.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shauna Curry.
And I'm Don Brubaker. The suspect in an August shooting in Victoria is now behind bars. 31-year-old Charles Brazil of Yoakum was wanted in connection with the death of 23-year-old Tyler Gomez outside a business on Lone Tree Road. U.S. Marshals caught Brazil last week in Brownsville. He's now in the Victoria County Jail on a $500,000 bond. Authorities say the quick arrest was thanks to a team effort between local police, U.S. Marshals, and the FBI.
A deadly wrong-way crash on U.S. Highway 59 in Jackson County is under investigation. Troopers say around 6 Wednesday evening, a Chevy Malibu was traveling south in the northbound lanes. Several drivers managed to swerve out of the way, but the car eventually hit a Tesla Cybertruck head-on. The Malibu's driver, 47-year-old Amber York of Rockport, died at the scene. The Tesla's driver, 41-year-old Brandon Brickley of Houston, was taken to a Houston area hospital and later released. Well, some showers around the area, but not here in Victoria. We just had heat and humidity today.
Yes, and football. So do heat and humidity, Jacob Lozano, go with football?
I think it does for this time of the month. I went to the Cuero Yoakum game, and it was honestly quite nice. It wasn't super humid. We kind of had that southeasterly breeze kind of cool us down, which was quite nice. It did pick up, and then it slowly began to die down there. But shower activity remains south of us here. There's just enough little energy to keep that going. Just unfortunately, it wasn't us up here. And that's really just going to be the name of the stories. We're going to see less shower activity over the weekend, as well as for the next couple of days for the beginning of the week. But overall, surface map looks pretty clear right there. We have that frontal boundary there. That's kind of helped brought up some of that shower activity down south there. And that low pressure there, that's bringing up a warm front up there from Indianapolis. But temperatures today were a little bit cooler, 92 degrees. A little bit above average though, but we were kind of getting close to 94 and 95 degrees. But I'm sure the hummingbirds didn't mind that. We just want to say thank you to Isaac for sending in these photos. Really cool close-up shots of these hummingbirds. But we're going to be talking about the weekend forecast as well as the extended forecast coming up in the full weather report. Don?
Jacob, thank you. The suspect in the assassination of Trump ally and conservative activist Charlie Cook is in custody. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson is being held without bail in a Utah jail on several initial charges, including aggravated murder.
According to officials, Robinson's father is the one who recognized his son in the photos released by the FBI. Nick Watt has more on what led to Robinson's arrest, along with new details on the evidence against him.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
After a 33-hour manhunt, a 22-year-old suspected assassin in custody. The end game began just before 8 p.m. last night.
The FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect.
Apparently, Robinson's own father recognized his son, confronted him, and heard his confession. His dad called a youth pastor, who in turn told law enforcement.
The suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time.
We're told that on the morning of the murder, Robinson arrived at the UVU campus at 8:29 a.m., then changed into that outfit we see in the security camera images, the T-shirt with an eagle and an American flag, to shoot the right-wing influencer dead at 12:23 p.m. Then he changed back into a plain tee and shorts for the roughly 3-hour drive back home. Robinson grew up here in Washington County, rural, quiet, conservative.
Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years.
And at a family dinner in recent days,
Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate.
That is where the suspect jumped off the roof after the shooting and ran, fleeing in this direction. Now, investigators say his roommate has showed them messages from the suspect in which he talks about collecting a rifle from a drop point, later of wrapping it in a towel and stashing it, and watching where he stashed it, and also apparently talking about engraving the ammunition. Now, this is where investigators found a rifle wrapped in a towel with engraving on the ammunition. Words, letters, symbols.
A second unfired casing read, "Oh, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao, Ciao."
Apparently referencing a song that glorifies Italian partisans who fought fascists and Nazis in World War II. Another read, "Hey fascist, catch."
Well, I will leave that up to you to interpret what those engravings mean. I think the clearest one that says "catch fascist," I think that speaks for itself.
We are told Robinson is not talking to investigators.
He is expected to make his first court appearance Tuesday. District 18 State Senator Lois Kolkhorst has been picked for a new committee on civil discourse and free speech in higher education. The group will work alongside a House Select Committee to study bias and free speech issues on Texas college campuses. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick said the move comes after some people publicly celebrated the murder of Charlie Cook, adding, quote, "We cannot tolerate that at our institutions of higher learning," unquote. Texas DPS reports it increased security measures for legislative staff at the Texas Capitol after the shooting of Charlie Kirk. DPS said legislative staff should not release schedules, event details, or locations online, and to report any threats to local law enforcement or iWatch Texas. Last month, Texas DPS evacuated the Capitol grounds after a social media threat calling on others to go to the building to take action against lawmakers who tried to leave the building. Governor Greg Abbott today signed House Bill 4211 into law. It bans residential property developments like Epic City in North Texas from creating Sharia compounds and defrauding and discriminating against Texans. Governor Abbott explained how those behind Epic City sought to create an entire city open only to Muslims, subject anyone who lives there to Sharia law, and restrict a landowner's ability to later sell property. A big political battle is brewing in Texas over THC products.
The fight between the state's two top leaders has left businesses and lawmakers divided. 25 News Now weekend anchor Amaya Norman joins us with more.
The controversy over hemp-derived THC heated up this summer at the Texas Capitol. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has been pushing for a complete ban, saying THC products are dangerous and even deadly for children. But Governor Greg Abbott has taken a different stance. Instead of an outright ban, he believes lawmakers should strengthen age restrictions and provide safer alternatives. That clash is start in June when Governor Abbott vetoed Senate Bill 3, and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick expresses how we need to protect our children from this harmful product.
If we don't pass a bill that regulates hemp and marijuana, then the status quo continues in those 8,000 shops, and they keep selling all this poison, and kids keep getting sick, and parents keep losing their children, and people walk out in front of trains and people shoot somebody.
The second special session failed to produce a compromise, keeping THC legal in Texas for now. Just days ago, Abbott signed an executive order tightening restrictions. His order bans the sale of hemp products to anyone under 21, requires retailers to verify IDs, and directs state agencies to crack down on enforcement. The new order also bans the sale of THC vapes in the state of Texas. The fight isn't over. Lawmakers are expected to revisit the issue in the next legislative session, meaning the future of THC in Texas is still up in the air. Shauna and Don, back to you.
Amaya, thank you. Texas DPS troopers have helped arrest over 3,000 people here illegally across the state this year. The Texas Tribune reports Texas DPS is shifting its focus from the border toward aiding the Trump administration's mass deportation crusade. About 88% of the people arrested were picked up on suspicion of violating federal immigration laws like improper entry into the country. Texas DPS has moved some of its troopers and investigators onto strike teams that work with federal agencies across Texas. An unspeakably violent crime played out Wednesday in Dallas.
A man attacked another with a machete and used it to decapitate him. Brasida Holguin has details.
Suspect has a machete.
Wednesday morning, something nobody would have expected took place at the Downtown Suites Motel in East Dallas. A man tells us he witnessed a beheading.
Ma'am, this is not normal to happen.
According to the arrest affidavit, police obtained video which shows 37-year-old Jordanis Cobos Martinez grab a machete and start stabbing 50-year-old Chandra Nahamalaya multiple times. The victim is seen fleeing down the parking lot towards the front office where his wife and son were.
He chased him from 108 all the way to the office. The man was trying to get in the office to his family.
A witness who saw the entire thing says the wife and son attempted to stop the suspect, but he pushed them away and continued to violate the victim's remains.
I find it sick, disgusting. I'm speechless.
Kind of out of the norm and is mind-blowing.
The affidavit states Dallas Fire arrived first. They saw the suspect covered in blood with a machete in hand, and they were able to catch him down the road. Several sources tell me the victim was a manager at the motel and say the suspect did maintenance there.
I feel bad for his family because he got a wife and a son. They came out, they didn't know what to do. She was screaming and hollering, but I told her to get back in there because I didn't know if he was going to attack her too.
The suspect has been charged with capital murder, and according to Dallas County Jail records, he has an immigration hold for allegedly being in the U.S. without authorization. Records also show he's been arrested for auto theft in Florida and has indecency with a child and assault charges in Houston.
And police say Cobos Martinez has admitted to the crime. Victoria County leaders say an update is coming soon on repairs to J2 Ranch Road. The road was badly damaged during construction of the New Hickory solar farm when heavy equipment traveled it daily. For more than a year, there's been back and forth over who should cover the costs for repairs, the county or the solar company. Precinct 4 Commissioner Kenneth Sexton says he is meeting with New Hickory Solar next week, and he says if all goes well, repairs could start shortly after.
3 Yoakum firefighters took part in the San Antonio 110 9/11 Memorial Climb Thursday. Mario Juarez, Isaiah Riebeling, and Wesley Bordowski made the climb to pay tribute to the 343 New York City firefighters who lost their lives on September 11, 2001. 343 tags were carried for each of the fallen firefighters up the stairs of the Tower of the Americas. They climbed the stairs twice to reach the 110 floors of the World Trade Center to pay tribute to each. In the Crossroads tomorrow, another tribute to the first responders who lost their lives on 9/11. The 9/11 Memorial Stair Climb takes place from 9 to 11 tomorrow morning at Sand Crab Stadium in Port Lavaca. Everyone is welcome to join Calhoun County first responders as they walk and climb the equivalent of the 110 stories of the World Trade Center.
Your news, weather, and sports are streaming 24/7 on crossroadstoday.com. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, one school district finds a creative way to use social media for good. The Student Influencer Program explained.
Also ahead, the FDA is set to present new COVID-19 vaccine data, why experts say it may raise questions.
Here's a look at what you can expect on Community Crossroads. We hear from the Victoria Bach Festival, the Victoria Ballet, Victoria Transit, and Uniting Hearts.
Take Stephanie Kadingo with Faith Family Church. She's the outreach director. They're bringing Faith Family Church praise and worship. So she'll be introducing that group as well as giving her message on Uniting Hearts, because each of the guest speakers, they do a 15 to 20-minute message, and the theme is Uniting Hearts.
hate it, social media seems to be here to stay.
And one school district in the Metro Austin area is embracing that and using it as a learning tool. Jessica Cha has the story.
By the B.
Students these days have a lot of activity options.
Robotics club, I am in dance, and NJHS.
And that's how Bianca Floric, a Hutto ISD 8th grader, likes it.
I feel kind of empty when I'm not busy, so yes.
All these options available, and yet Bianca says something is still missing.
Like I wasn't able to share all the things I was doing and share how amazing our opportunities are.
A platform to share it on.
We started this year the Student Influencer Program. We're hoping to have maybe 12 to 15 students apply.
At least 2 students at each of the middle and high schools will be chosen to create content for their school or the district's social media accounts, according to Alishka Padilla, the district's communication manager.
Whether they're in athletics or drill team or cheer or robotics or science club or speech or debate, we want them to be able to tell their stories and their perspectives.
Why an influencer program? Well, Padilla says it's to empower and prepare kids for the new age of social media.
If students are telling other students what they experience, then it's authentic and it's real and it has much more power. We also want to help students have experience in digital skills.
So once a month, students will have to turn in 2 pieces of content covering a student game or a club they love or something about themselves. They say it's all in an effort to make social media a more positive experience.
When can I sign up?
Bianca doesn't actually have any social media, but says it's a good time to start.
I have a few ideas of like showing our progress in dance class maybe, how our robots going along in robotics, and a bunch of stuff like that, yeah. But if there's a content that's uplifting you and showing, you know, all the good things in life, I feel like social media can be really good in those instances.
So in order to be chosen for that program, which sounds really neat, students do have to submit a minute-long audition video. Well, Texas education officials are clearing up confusion about the new parental consent law. In updated guidance sent to schools Thursday, they say nurses can still handle the basics, like giving out Band-Aids or checking a student's temperature. You can read the full Texas Tribune article by coming to crossroadstoday.com. And this brings us to our viewer poll. Do you think the parental consent law will make it harder for students to get timely care? Yes, no, or you're not sure. Well, Barbara from Victoria says no, we already fill one out for registration. This just makes it even more detailed. And 62% of our voters agree. They do not feel that the new law will make it harder for students to get care while they're at school. We want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote. And thank you for everyone who took part tonight. The Naval Academy remains closed as officials investigate the shooting of a midshipman. The incident started Thursday after a former student made online threats, sparking false reports of an active shooter. During the lockdown, a midshipman mistook a security officer for a threat and hit him with a parade rifle. The officer fired, hitting the student in the upper body. The midshipman was treated and released from a hospital.
Many Americans are feeling less confident about the U.S. economy. Consumer sentiment in August dropped roughly 3 points. That's from a preliminary survey by the University of Michigan. Rising inflation and tariffs are 2 of the main economic concerns. The findings also show a continuing trend between the haves and the have-nots. Wealthy people are spending more often and more freely, while lower-income households are cutting back on expenses.
The FDA is getting ready to present new data that could raise questions about the COVID-19 vaccine in children and pregnant women. Officials are reviewing reports of birth defects after vaccination during pregnancy, and another report looks at child deaths after vaccination. The data will be presented next week to a vaccine advisory committee, but public health experts warn the data sets cannot prove cause and may be misinterpreted. The CDC maintains the vaccine is safe, though federal guidance was scaled back earlier this year.
When it comes to taking a test, timing may be everything.
With more, here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
If you are a student facing a big exam, taking it at noon might be your best chance of acing it. A new study from Italy looked at over 100,000 university oral exams scheduled between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. and found students performed best in the late morning. College students were more likely to score a passing grade around noon, even after taking test difficulty into account. Why? Researchers suspect the internal body clock, or circadian rhythm, may help sharpen the mind around midday. And they speculate that this advantage could stretch beyond the classroom, perhaps to job interviews or high-stakes work presentations. But as intriguing as this idea is, the study only looked at students enrolled at one Italian university, and it didn't consider factors like sleep, stress, or examiner style. So while the timing of test taking may provide an edge, it's just one piece of the puzzle for how you succeed. With this Medical Minute, I'm Jacqueline Lee.
Well, the skies have been relatively clear, but there's a lot of cloud cover there on west. I'll explain why that is coming up after this. Crossroads. I wish today, like this, I wish that was kind of like summer, you know, like it was just nice 95, 92 degrees, a little bit clear skies. I mean, I kind of enjoy that type of weather, but we got high pressure. That's why we got more cloud cover out west. And it's actually, you can see it just wrapping around there. So we have an omega block is what that is called. You have low pressure right here, and you have low pressure over here, and you have high pressure in the middle, and that keeps the jet stream up north and it wraps it right back around. That's why we have a lot more cloud cover over there. But the high pressure is actually going to be helping diminish our rain chances here, as well as keeping our temperatures a little bit warmer than average, unfortunately. But the high pressure is going to be lingering around as well here for the next couple of days. But as we head towards around the Wednesday time frame, we do see it begin to weaken and shrink here. And that'll kind of help, see right here, that'll kind of help open up our shower activity for us here, regaining it back into like the 20% range. And we'll continue to watch for those sea breeze shower activity as the days progress, because we got to figure out, is that high pressure really going to shrink there for Wednesday and Thursday. So 73 degrees tomorrow, though, because of the high pressure, it's going to be a little bit warm, 90 degrees by lunchtime. And we're dancing right around the mid 90s here. 94 degrees is what we have it here off this model for Victoria, and well, the rain chance is not looking too hot as well, keeping it right around 10%. If we get just enough heat in the atmosphere, we could break that cap and get another sea breeze shower. We have a little bit of moisture coming out of the southeast there, so that's a fortunate thing, but it is going to make it a little bit more humid for us. 71 degrees here by 6 a.m. on Sunday, getting to 84 by noontime Sunday, and we'll be right back into the mid to low 90s for us here. For it, but the next 5 days we're going to be seeing that same condition of just mid to low 90s, mid to close to upper 90s. It's just going to be kind of summer-like is basically what we would call it, but we're getting into those transition months right now. We're in September. We're starting to see a little bit more activity within the frontal systems, so it's something we can look at, as well as this area right here. We have a 40% chance of development off the coast of Africa, and well, it's got a little bit of dry air it's got to work through here, but that's why the cone's out over here. It's because it's just got a little bit of work that it needs to do before we can see some possible development here. But out in the Pacific, we got Mario right here, and it, well, looks like it didn't really last too long here. It's already looking to be a post-tropical cyclone here over the next couple of hours here. Just really unfavorable conditions here, and it looks like it's going to continue out west because of that high pressure, just unfortunately steering that way out there. But for your daily planner, though, partly cloudy skies in the afternoon, 93 degrees. The winds will be picking up in the afternoon as well off the sea breeze. Port Lavaca will be seeing those same conditions, a little bit more sunnier skies. and Cuero will be partly cloudy as well, 95 degrees, southeasterly winds at about 14 miles per hour with 20 mile per hour gust winds. Next 7 days, though, we're keeping it at 10%. Depends on the temperatures. We could see a small little shower depending on the area, kind of like what we saw today. But 20% here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, once that high pressure begins to shrink. So we'll fortunately start to see those rain chances return for us. But temperatures in the morning will be right around the low 70s. So if you want to enjoy the outdoors, suggest right there or the evening time. But it is going to be a little bit warm. So make sure you stay hydrated and taking those frequent breaks in those temperatures when they're in the 90s. Now don't forget to scan the QR code for more news, weather, and sports. And well, Max, I was at the Cuero and Yoakum game. The weather was quite nice there, man.
Yeah, man, it was quite nice. And hey, we had a great game that happened. That actually turned out to be our game of the week, but I'm going to tell you that score there later on there for our show. And after the break, we're going to reveal 2 final scores there, and we're going to talk about the VISD Fall Golf Classic. All that coming up in sports in a little bit. All right, everyone, we're finally getting up here to week 3 of Crossroads Football Live. It's going to start here in just 6 minutes time. But before we get that, we're going to highlight some golf action happened at Colony Creek Golf Course today. Victoria East boys and girls golf team and also Victoria West boys team competed in this competition, along with a lot of other Corpus teams as well. Victoria East Gold boys were in the lead with Jonas Ross, Spencer Spansky leading the way as they finished up there in 7th place with 136 over par as their overall team score for day 1 action. And then for the girls score, Victoria East Gold of Tapp, Morris, Andrus, Hansen, and Mitchell end up with 126 over par. And for some individual scores, how about Michael Simpson at dead even there for the East Gold team start off day 1 action. Then with Spansky and Roth at +5 or Spansky +7 overall over par for Roth. Now for the females, you got Alexis Andrus and Brandy Tapp. Then a second individual scoring there for Alexis Andrus. Then 3rd overall there for Brenda Tapp. Now even with these scores for a lot of these golfers, there Caitlin Mitchell, Michael Mitchell and Ed Day plus overall 56 and Jonas Roth. It's had to have some fun there this week and try to improve from day 1.
My first hole and just get it out of the way and then just have fun the rest of the time with everyone else.
Senior year, I just want to, feel the team environment. There's not a lot of times when you get to enjoy golf as a team sport, so I just really want to be a part of a team this year.
Now, both Mitchell and Roth are excited to begin this season, especially because for Caitlin, it's her first ever golf tournament. So hopefully she can improve there going into day 2 action starting tomorrow morning at Colony Creek. Now it's time to reveal our 2 scores, a sneak peek again. Reminder, these 2 scores I will reveal will not be part of Crossroads Football Live. So without further ado, let's get to it. How about Palacios? They face the Danbury Panthers here tonight. And Palacios gets their first ever win for new head coach Travis Hoffer, 55-0 over the Danbury Panthers. The Sharks are officially going to be on bye week next week before they start up district play versus Corpus Christi West Oso. How about Louise Hornets? They traveled out to face Hallettsville Sacred Heart, and this one ended up being the Sacred Heart Indians winning 33-8, making it the first win for Hallettsville Sacred Heart. For Louise, officially 0-3 because Louise, they host Danbury, the team that just lost to Palacios a minute ago, next week, while Sacred Heart faces Victoria St. Joseph next week. And that's going to do it here in sports. Don, Shauna, back to you.
Max, I hope you don't mind. I have a score to give. Okay, college football. Deion Sanders, Colorado Buffaloes, 20. University of Houston, 36. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10. We'll take a last look at your weather, from pacifiers to pensions, how an infant program is helping working parents.
Tonight, I need you. How did you pick that out of the stack of VHS
we
tapes?
did not. It's Midnight Express. We didn't know what. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
The Emmy Awards ceremony is set for this Sunday. The Apple TV Plus series Severance has the most nominations with 27. It's followed by HBO's The Penguin and another Apple TV Plus series, The Studio. The long list of actors up for awards includes Parker Posey, John Turturro, and Natasha Rothwell. One actress could make history, Kathy Bates. She's already won 2 Emmys, but on Sunday, she could become the oldest performer to win the Emmy for Best Actress in a Drama. Bates is nominated for her work in Matlock.
Well, there's a 6-month-old in East Texas. She's celebrating her retirement. But, all right, Olivia just finished Tyler's Infant at Work program, which allows babies to join their parents at the office from 4 weeks old to 6 months. Her mom, Vita, who works at Tyler Transit, says the program made a big difference for their family. Olivia is the 20th baby to retire from the program since it started in 2002, and now she'll enjoy more time at home and with her grandmother. And before we retire tonight, we need to get a update of weather for the weekend.
Yes, and it's going to be pretty consistent, I'll say. It's going to be mostly sunny. Temperatures will be right around the mid-90s. May see a slight little shower here over the weekend, but I think it's really just going to be mostly sunny skies for us. But the shower activity does return for us here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
All right. And speaking of children and retiring, we'll come back to us really quick here. We'll be playing golf tomorrow. That was my teenage daughter that we got to hear from at the East Golf Tournament. So very proud of her for taking up golf and excited to see how things go tomorrow.
Go Caitlin.
Yeah. Well, a Michigan zoo has a brand new baby hippo. The endangered pygmy hippo was born at the John Ball Zoo last week in Grand Rapids. To celebrate the arrival, the zoo hosted a gender reveal. The dad bit into a watermelon, revealing blue Jell-O and blueberries. So it's a boy. Both calf and first-time mom Penelope are doing well. This is the 4th pygmy hippo born in a U.S. zoo in the last year and the first one at the John Ball Zoo. Fewer than 2,500 pygmy hippos are left in the wild, so very much endangered.
Yeah,
hippo, hippo, hooray.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight.
All right, and be sure and join us coming up. Crossroads Football Live is next, the latest and the greatest Texas high school football. Have a great weekend, everybody, and check out 25 News Now this weekend and also crossroadstoday.com.